I'll dive straight in there. I mean, here's the back of the box. Let's have a quick butchers at that in more detail, actually. So, yeah, you can see the back of the box here. It's nicely been painted up with a variety of sort of washed out, faded, rotten wood looks. And you can see as a complete kit it has a sort of a baseline at the bottom, and they're just showing off some of the detail there, which are sort of creatures of the deep. So I'm not necessarily going to use those to the idea I've got for a terrain for it, but they do look like very nice models and look great as character pieces on other miniatures. I mean, perhaps even if you played Guild Ball, you could use these on one of the fishermen team as a sort of washed up, unusual fish on their base. However, let's have a look in there. Let's unbox. Let me flip back first to the larger view. Okay. So as you can see, it's a plastic kit, multi-part, cut out, clip apart type kit that comes with 4 sprue sections for £25 British if you buy directly from the Games Workshop store, High Street. However, I imagine you can get it cheaper if you buy online from your Troll Traders and Wayland Game type box shifters, or any of the other good stores on eBay. So as you can see, the 4 components have the various parts of the ship. You've got 2 back sections which are the sort of castle here. Then you have a base plate area with this, which forms the sort of base that the whole thing is mounted on. Sort of back of the castle area there with Sigmar model, Sigmar impression, and that's the top of the castle platform area there. And then if I was to pull these 2 out of the way and get the main hull, you can see the hull, which is in 2 parts, sort of clips together somewhat like that. So yeah, you can sort of see from the top, although it won't go directly together. Not nearly got it going in there. So yeah, quite a substantial ship really. If I was to get the inches ruler out, just to sort of give you a view, flip it around the right way even, we're looking here at the length of the ship being 8 inches essentially. Yeah, it looks like they've gone for a round sort of 8-inch size on that. So again, this particular one, if we zoom into it, look at some of the fantastic detail. It has those sort of schools of unusual fish and things on there. Also some sort of fella on the front there, whose arms have a hammer in actually, in one of the, no, it's in this sprue, sort of hammer, the front of the ship. I don't really rate those myself I'm sure they're part of the models rules or something for the game, but I might clip some of that off, because I'd like to use these as sort of side based, as a sort of side on rotten hull and piece of terrain like this. If I mounted that on a piece of cork or some kind of MDF, I would then build up a kind of sea wave splashing inside or something. I might use it on a shoreline as a sort of washed up hull, and if you had a few of those together, because you could use the different pieces, you could create quite an interesting section of terrain. Those barnacles are excellent on the side of there, by the way. Very nice feature. And just generally speaking, look at the level of detail on there, fantastic. You've got some of these sort of vases, broken one there, and although it's trying to focus, you've got the rather nice ribbing on the deck there, which will dry brush up fantastically, I'm sure. And again, some more of the mini sea beast fish on there. So I've noticed there's one of those sort of prehistoric style fish on there. I can't remember the name of them, but I do remember Ponyo, the Japanese movie, had some of these swimming around. They've kind of got sort of limbs almost. And the base has a sort of a few fishy things on it too, and an octopus there too. So nice kit really. Flip back out. Yeah, certainly worth a look if you are either into the game or just want some shipwreck parts if you're playing other games that involve pirates of any kind, or a shoreline. That's a nice piece of kit for it. So here's the construction guide you've got in there as well. And you can see that they've got the sort of two, it's designed to be in sort of two parts, so the sort of rear castle and the front section, four section. And then just through the steps of the book, you've got all the various gluing togethers and the mast. The mast's a nice feature with the bell on there. That would come up nicely in a sort of coppery brass with the patina on there. So there's the rear castle as well. Doesn't look too difficult to put together because it is just sort of bulky large pieces. And there's some notes on scenery rules. Following rules are used for this terrain feature. Guardians of the deep, shoals of the small sea creatures infest this wreck. Roll a dice each time a wound or mortal wound is allocated to a Ideneth Deepkin unit wholly within 6 inches, and they get a wound save. So it's essentially, if you're playing this in the Age of Sigmar, it's essentially providing cover and an additional wound save if you've got a unit within 6 inches of it. But by the looks of it, it doesn't move, so it's just a terrain feature that you'd put down and then try and keep a unit beside it that wants an extra save. And it's nice that they have some rules, actually, isn't it, that means that terrain is more than just a static feature. However, like I said, I think I'd like the idea of putting these on their side, texturing up a base and then using these other bits to sort of add some rough terrain around it, and then maybe having them somewhere on a shoreline as scattered terrain to offer cover, in the same way that the rules work for them obviously in the Age of Sigmar. So thanks for listening in. This is a short overview of this Age of Sigmar shipwreck.